Sports presents Benning Bites with Damon Benning. Benning Bites with Damon Benning.
Another episode of Benning Bites. We appreciate you being a part of what we do. Google, Apple, Spotify, the whole deal. Be a part of what we're doing. You can see right in the background. Remember one of my favorite songs? I can play the background. You see Hurrdat Varsity Club. That's where our studio is. Come grab something to eat. Shane just overindulging. He finally got with the program and got the breading on the wings.
Right there.
Right there. Just a $1 upcharge. And I tell him, it's like it can hold the sauce. It is so good. Now I just have to get him to graduate to getting the breading on the wings, getting the sauce on the side so he can dip the actual wings. But baby steps. I don't want to tell anybody how to eat their food, although I kind of do. But I will tell you where to come eat it. Make sure you come eat it at the Hurrdat Varsity Club. Huge event tonight with the pipeline celebration. It is sold out. It will be a circus. So that way everybody can come see. And remember, it's I think the doors open. I should know. I think the doors open around 6:30. The event 6, but the event is sold out for tonight. Probably get a little SRO on a Friday night. How are you folks going to act? Nah, I'm just kidding. That's not really what the Bites is about tonight or today. Yesterday, Thursday's show, we talked a ton about I thought it was interesting. So we had Greg Sharp on, the voice of the Huskers, the real voice of the Huskers. I know sometimes you guys say that, but I just do play-by-play. Or color. He does play-by-play. Play-by-play is like the real voice. The color guy is just the color guy. But I do enjoy being a part of the broadcast. He was talking about a lot. His Kansas story is funny. As he was sprinkled in at the tail end with Bo Pelini, which was hilarious. You should go back and listen to that. Check that out on Coffee and Cream. Ravi Lula was filling in for my partner, Andrew Rogers, who is on a little bit of a getaway. As you can kind of hear my phone ringing. It's my first time I've done radio, so bear with me. He said something interesting about the whole Coach Solich, Coach Rule, the not coming back unless you believe in Coach Rule. And I'm like, you know what? There's definitely something to that. Because I talked to Coach Solich on the phone on Wednesday, and he kind of went in detail. A little bit of detail. As much detail as Coach Solich would give that's not a football play, which is extensive detail. But as much detail about life, about Coach Rule, kind of being the mediator, the guy that reached out to him, that continually reached out to him, broke him off a couple of different phone calls just about the job, what it entailed, insight on plays, stuff like that. Like little things that at the time you don't know what they'll mean to somebody until it actually has to mean something to somebody. And for Coach Solich, he was very clear on how important it was to him that Coach Rule reached out to him a multitude of times to talk about things other than just, hey, will you come back? And I think it's interesting, right? Just as a general life philosophy, sometimes you need your flowers watered. Sometimes you need fertilizer in your grass. You can't always be the person that is doing the watering and is doing the fertilizing. Sometimes people just need to check on you. And when you have kind of those role reversals, I don't know if anybody out there has always been the guy or gal that they're always the ones that make things right. They're the peacemakers. They're the problem solvers. They're the ones that when they interact, leave it to such and such. Like that's just what they do. They'll get it right. Sometimes those people dry out. And their flowers need a little watering. So be cognizant of that. Because I think at this particular example was pretty critical. A lot of people asked Coach Solich, hey, come fill the role. Be the guy. You can make it all right. You can, you can be the magic that makes it happen. And sometimes I think he wanted to be somebody else's. I think he wanted a little role reversal. And I think Coach Rule, along with Trev, were actually the opposite for Coach Solich. And it wasn't about how Coach Solich could make the fan base feel. It was about how administration and the current coaching staff made Coach Solich feel. And I think that can be all the difference in the world. I think it's critical. Take a look at some of your relationships, whether it be employee-employer, whether it be mother-daughter, mother-son, father-daughter, father-son, husband-wife, brother-sister. Just when somebody else is your light and then conversely you can be their light, wow, you can accomplish a lot of things. And I think it was critical this time around because you can tell Coach Solich how important it is to other people for this to happen, but very few people would say how important it is to Coach Solich for this to happen. Kind of has to be a thing, right? Right? Hey, my flower's a little dry, man. Who's helping me out? Let's just be cognizant of that. And good on Coach Rule. And good on Trev Alberts and the rest of the administration. Coach Osborne couldn't get it done, not solely. Trev Alberts couldn't get it done, not solely. Coach Rule couldn't get it done, not solely. But collectively, letting somebody else know that you're there for them without asking them for anything was crucial. That's their own business in terms of what they talked about and how many times they talked about it. But I'm just telling you, a lot of conversations between the two without asking Coach Solich for a thing. Just regular good old boy coaching fraternity talk. And that went a long way. Just having general concern for how other people are doing. Because back to that whole simple versus easy thing, you know what's simple to say? Treat people the way that you want to be treated. You know what's simple to say? Well, invest in others as you would want them to in you. You know what's not always easy to do? Be cognizant of it when you're not doing it. Self-awareness. Talked about that before. Taking self-inventory real time. We've talked about that before. And don't think it didn't matter this time around. So there'll be a lot of celebrating over the next, 36 hours. All day today on a Friday. So make sure you're listening to the show, Coffee and Cream. All day tomorrow during the spring game until they run like 6 plays that you guys, gals don't like. And then we'll be back to arguing with one. No, I'm just kidding. For 36 hours, it will be all good in the Memorial Stadium neighborhood. But just take a couple of quick seconds to say, hey, listen, am I being somebody else's sunlight without wanting anything in return? And when you can cheer for other people like that and want the best for them, that's really when the magic happens. And make sure you're a part of it. We all love a good magic show, don't we? Doesn't have to just be David Copperfield. It could be John Smith, Shane Schillerberg, old DB, Ravi Lula. Could be just regular old sorts of magic. Yesterday on the show, it was Greg Sharp. He didn't know that he was going to water somebody else's flowers, but he did. And that's, man, it's a good feeling. Try to be a part of it. It's another episode of Benning Bites.